Good afternoon, my name is Ulrich Korell and I'm happy to present the company called PharmaKorell. We don't have any machines or don't focus on products. We don't have our own products on the market, and that's why I start with a picture of some members of our team, which just means we are people-oriented and our business is really providing business-to-business services based on expertise and by humans. Our locations are, we have our headquarters in Lörrach. This is our own building there. We use 2 floors and 3 floors are rented out to other companies. Then we have a small office in Basel. And these 2 locations are also the reason why we have been member of the BioValley here for more than 10 years. And since last year, we also have a branch office in Munich, which is quite a good place to do pharma business too. This is a picture of our team again. We provide services based on people. That's why I show the team here. Currently, we are 28 permanent employees. Most of them are chemists or biologists or pharmacists with a long-term industry experience. But we also have 2 former inspectors from a German inspectorate, which also helps us to get some insights on how those authorities work. Well, we have a broad range of services and a broad range of customers, but the majority of our customers actually are sponsors of clinical trials. And this is how we help them. Clinical trials, of course, need investigational medicinal products, IMPs, and you certainly want that it's there at the right time in the right quality when you are licensed or allowed to start a clinical trial. And IMPs, of course, are for human use, and of course, they have to be compliant with several regulations, good manufacturing practice, and so on. So this is a bit time-consuming and difficult. On the other hand, the supply is very time-sensitive to assure your clinical trials. And this is where we can support you. We can do complex coordination with multiple contractors like API manufacturers, primary packaging, formulation, secondary packaging, logistics, GMP labs, and so on. So we look at the entire value chain, so to speak, that has to work well to get your IMP ready for day X when you are allowed to start a clinical trial. If that cooperation doesn't work, then there's a risk that the clinical trial is delayed. Or it could also be that the clinical trial results are not really valid. For example, if there's some flaws in the protocol or in the manufacturer and you're not 100% sure what patient has received placebo and what patient has received verum, these manufacturing flaws or compliance flaws can actually also result in invalid clinical trial results. Or it could be that in the end you need certification by a so-called qualified person. It's an expert who has the authority to release batches for clinical trials. And this QP has a final say, and if the QP doesn't agree with some of the procedures for the API or for production or whatever, you are in trouble because you don't get the signatures that are necessary. And this is our contribution there, that we check the entire supply chain with audits and contracts and reviews and so on as early as possible, so that we identify risks early. And also we have very early involvement of the final QP. The final QP in our company is part of the project team from day 1. And so all the concerns and conditions are taken care of, and the QP will happily sign off the batch when it's ready. Okay, that was about IMP services, but this is a chart of all of our services we offer. I'll just go through them quickly. We have this qualified person batch certification that I mentioned before. This is based on our own manufacturing and import license. So we can do that in our own name on behalf of the client. Then we have cross-border pharmaceutical services. We have a lot of import and export from many countries, also from outside the European Union. Then we have quality management services like quality assurance audits. We audit suppliers, labs, due diligence audits in cases of mergers and acquisitions, to evaluate if the supply chain is okay, if the preparations for the dossier for the marketing authorization applications are acceptable, and so on. And we also do a lot of trainings, public but also in-house trainings. Then our qualified persons can also work for other pharmaceutical companies who hold their own licenses, just as an external QP, or for wholesale, for wholesalers, or in Switzerland as fachtechnisch verantwortliche Person. Then we have some business development services, helping companies to establish branches in the European Union. For example, companies from Switzerland or UK or US or China is also a big demand from there. And establishment of new partnerships is also very interesting. And we also have some physical handling of material, of IMPs and commercial products. We can do primary packaging under cleanroom conditions, sampling under cleanroom conditions in our own building. We can also store under GMP and GDP. We can also do secondary packaging, labeling for clinical trials in high quality, very flexible, very fast, without involvement of an external partner. And we can also do logistics like customs clearance and so on, shipment. Okay, I said that we mainly work for IMPs. Unfortunately, I cannot list all our clients here because it's confidential. But fortunately, we also have some products where we are in charge with QP certification, which already have a marketing authorization, and therefore is public knowledge. This is one of the products that we are in charge of, the QP release for the entire European Union. This is produced in the United Kingdom and used to be released there from a qualified person for the European Union, but after Brexit, they need somebody like us. And actually, we are the manufacturer of this product in the legal sense because the QP certification legally is a final manufacturing step. And that's why we are also in the package leaflet. So this is a copy from the package insert in there. Okay. Of course, if you cooperate with somebody in charge of your supply chain and certification, you need a lot of trust. You have to be sure that you have the right partner. And for that, we have all the certifications that we need, like EU GMP certification, but we also have ISO 9001:2015 for the other non-GMP processes. We are a large team, relatively large team. For example, we have 14 registered qualified persons. So if one qualified person is ill or whatever, then somebody else can step in. There will be no delay in your project. It does not depend on a single person. And also, if there are tricky questions or difficult negotiations with authorities, there's always a second and third expert in the team who can support. Locations I mentioned already, Basel and Munich, two strategic hubs for pharma in Europe. And we are quite mobile. Wherever we work, you will not see a difference in quality or in speed or in data integrity or data protection due to our very modern IT infrastructure. Okay, I'm not alone here today. I'm together here with Frank Wien, who's here. Also managing director, we run the company together, and we will be very happy to talk to you later. You can just scan the contact details, and we are always open for new business and new corporations. Thank you very much.